Hey guys, Miss Tate here. Happy Tuesday. Um, so we finished our unit on division last week, and we are moving into our unit studying decimals. Now, in third grade, you guys didn't do much with decimals, so you might be wondering, Miss Tate, what's a decimal? I'm so glad you asked. We're going to learn today what a decimal is and how to represent them using base 10 blocks today. Now you're not going to actually get to use these because, COVID, but you'll be using some virtual base 10 blocks and you will learn how to represent these decimals today. So we have a new TEK. I'm just going to read over it and then I'll kind of explain what we'll be doing with the decimal and kind of what is a decimal. So here's our new TEK. It's 4.2E. Kind of had written on it from last year and it didn't really come off. So you get kind of some of these notes. It says, we will represent decimals including the tenths and the hundredths. Those are two types of decimals, using concrete and visual models. So concrete is like something you can actually touch, like base 10 blocks. So concrete models that we'll be using are base 10 blocks. And a visual model is a picture. So we'll learn how to use them with pictures too. And money. We know what money is from third grade. And money might be where you have seen decimals before. So if you think about like a dollar bill, right? So if I have $1, right, that's one whole dollar. But I could have less than a dollar, right? So say I have 85 cents, that's less than a dollar. Well, 85 cents, I would write using a decimal as less than one whole. So anytime you have something that's written with a decimal before it, it means it's less than one whole. It's less than one whole. So like if I had 3 and 25, if we're thinking about this in money, right, we would say this is $3.25. So 3 wholes, 25 cents. This part over here, this is the decimal part that we're talking about. So this is your decimal. If you have anything after the decimal, so to the right, it means it's less than a whole. And anything before the decimal, so to the left, it would be at least a whole. So I've got 3 whole dollars and 25 cents, right? This is less than a dollar. So these have place value names and they're written up here. So we have tenths and hundredths. So let's look at this place value chart real quick that I have. And let's look at the place value we covered at the beginning of the year. And let's introduce our 2 new place value parts. So this is what we studied at the beginning of the year, right? We started with the ones place, went to the tens, and we went all the way from the ones place all the way up to the billions. Well, what if we have something that's less than one whole? Like what if we have something with change or something that's less than a whole? Well, there's 2 place value spots here that we're going to use to describe those spots. So I'm going to put my decimal right here. And let's kind of imagine this as money, right? So say I had $1.25, right? I would put the 1 has to go in the ones place, but my decimal would be lined up here, and the 2 would go in this place, which we haven't named yet, and the 5 would go in this place, which we haven't named yet. The names for these 2 place values, I'm going to write them down here. The one that the 2 is in, this is called the tenths place. Look, it's different than the tens place. This one is the tenths. Look, it has a TH in it. So you see the difference? This was tens. To the right of the decimal is the tenths. We got THS. And then the one that the 5 is in is known as this. It is the hundredths place. Everyone try to say that. Ready? Hundredths. So it's very similar to hundreds from over here, but this is hundredths. We have a THS at the end. And actually, it will keep going. Next year, you'll learn the next place value, the next place value, the next place value. So it goes the same. So just like our place value continuously grows to the left, right, can keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger, the decimals can keep getting you can keep going with decimal place value here, but in 4th grade, we're just going to learn the tenths place and the hundredths place. So if I was to say this number, like $1.25 is how I would say it, using money, right? But if I'm going to say, oh, I have 1, I would have 2 tenths and 5 hundredths. Or if I have, I don't any number at all. So I'm going to say 372. That's just our regular 372, right? 3 hundreds, 7 tenths, 2 ones. And say I have 50 cents. $372.50. I bought something very expensive, apparently. Right? So I have 300, 7 tenths, 2 ones. Well, I would have 5 tenths and 0 hundredths. What we're going to learn today is we're going to learn how to represent the tenths and the hundredths using concrete models. So today we're going to be using base 10 blocks. So in the next video, I'm going to show you how to use these base 10 blocks to represent tenths and hundredths.